Let's go over birthday cake candles. The problem says you are in charge of cake for your niece's birthday and have decided the cake will have one candle for each year of her total age. So if your niece is 10 years old, you're going to have 10 candles. So that's what it's saying. When she blows out the candles, she will only be able to blow out the tallest ones. So only the tallest ones. Your task is to find out how many candles she can successfully blow out. So we want to find out how many candles she can blow out. For example, if your niece is turning 4 years old and the cake will have 4 candles of height 4413, she will be able to blow out 2 candles successfully. And the reason is because, okay, so first thing, since your niece is 4 years old, you're going to have 4 candles with a height of 4, 4, 1, and 3. And she can blow out only the candles with the highest height, which is 4 in this case. So she should be able to blow out only 2 candles with height of 4. Okay, function description. Complete the function birthday cake candles in the editor below and must return an integer. So now we want to return something, which is gonna be a number representing the number of candles she can blow out. And it's going to have the following parameters. It's going to have an array of integers. So integers are numbers, whole numbers. The first line contains a single integer n, denoting the number of candles on the cake. So it's 4 candles. The second line contains n space separated integers, where each integer at integer I describes the height of candle I. So this one has height of 3, height of 2, height of 1, height of 3. So maximum height is going to be 3. And it can blow out these 2 because it has the highest candle or highest height, and the result is obviously going to be 2 because she blew out 2 candles. Okay, so return the number of candles that she can blow out on a new line. Alright, now let's get to our code. If you guys find this helpful, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thanks. Now let's go over our first solution. So we have our function which takes in an array, and this is our pseudocode. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get the maximum height of the candle, and in order to do that, we're going to use a math function, math.max array, and this is going to get us the maximum height. And I'm going to declare another variable named count and set equal to 0. Count is going to count the number of maximum height candles that's in the array. Next step is to loop through our array so that I is equal to 0. We're going to start at index I, array.length, increment by 1 each time. And we want to check if the current item is has a maximum height is equal to max. And if that's true, we're going to increase the count by 1. So if we had to use this example, we know that the maximum height is going to be equal to 3, and if the current item or current candle is equal to the maximum height, we're going to increment the count by 1. So we do that for all the items, and we know that we have 2 3s, and finally if we return our count, we should be getting 2 as our result. And let's check our result. And as you can see, we have 2, so there we go. Now let's go over our code just to get a better understanding. Okay, so first thing we do was we got the maximum number by using the math function spread operator on the current array or the given array to get the maximum number. And next thing we did was we created a variable named count and set it equal to 0, and this is going to count the maximum height candles, and we return that later. So for using a for loop, we start at index 0 and loop through all the items in the array, and if the current number is equal to the maximum height, we increment count by 1. So in the first iteration, I is equal to 0. That means that array at index I is going to be 3. And what's our maximum number? Our max is always going to be 3. Is it equal to each other? Yes. So that's going to increase count by 1 plus. Next number is 2. Is that equal to each other? No. So we just loop through again. Is 1 equal to 3? Nope. Is 3 equal to 3? Yes. That means that we increment our count by 1 more time. And now we're done with our loop, right? So we exit out of this loop and we finally return our count, which is 2. And that's the result we get. Let's go over our second solution. Second solution is pretty much the same except that 3.1 and 4 is different. So our if statement is a little different. So let's try coding this first. So same as before, our max, math.max dot spread operator array. So that's gonna give us our maximum number, and we're going to make a variable named count set equal to 0 and return that count later. So we're gonna use a for loop to loop through all the elements in the array, same as before. And now our if statement is going to be a little different. So what we're doing for this one is we're basically doing the opposite. So remember, for the first solution, we found the maximum number, and if the number was equal to the maximum number, we increment the count. But this time what we're going to do is if the number is less than the maximum number, we're going to increment count. So that's going to be if the number, actually let's do it this way, array at index I is less than max, we're going to increase the count by 1. Oh, it should be just 1r. Okay, and we don't return the count because, well, for this one it worked out, but it should be array.length minus count. So what we did was we checked if the current number is less than the maximum number, and if it's true, we incremented our count. So if the number was not 3, we incremented count. And finally, what we did was we got all the number of elements in our array and we decrement the count to get the maximum number. So let's say that we had another 1 here. That should give us 2, right? Because length is 5, count is going to be 3 because 2, 1, and 1 is smaller than 3. So our count is 3. And 5 minus 3 is going to give us 2, which is true because we had 2 3s in our array. Let's just change this back, and that's our solution. I think the first one is just logically more, it just makes more sense, I think. Your intuition should be to get the highest number or highest height and then increment that instead of doing it the opposite way.